What's up YouTube? It's Jeff and I'm back again for another video. Hopefully this time it stays in focus. I switched lenses because the other one I can see the little viewfinder that's like that big. It looked like it was in focus the last couple times and then I get on there and my whole face just blurred out. So hopefully this one works. Third time's a charm, right? So struggles of trying to film by yourself and keep everything in focus. That's the one thing about the prime lenses, like a 50mm lens, is it looks so crisp if you get it in focus, but if you can't get it just right in focus, it's all blurred. So I got frustrated with it and I said screw it, and I put the other lens on. So yeah, anyway, back to the story. Today is Wednesday, so it's Wyoming Wednesday. I'm going to be telling a story from the first road trip I took from Wyoming. I ended up going to Yosemite, which is about 19 hours from Wyoming. It's pretty much the same as going from New York to Wyoming. That's about 25 hours. This was 19 hours. So, give or take a couple hours. It's pretty much like that trip. But anyway, so on this trip I ended up going, I left after work. I went over towards Idaho and I was going to cut down to northeast Nevada. And I stopped at a Jack in the Box for some food, which is just awesome. You know, the East Coast, they need to get Jack in the Box, In-N-Out Burger, and all those other great burger places. That's the one thing the West Coast seems to just have abundance of. So, yeah. So anyway, so I get there and I pop into Siri, like I want to go to, northeast Nevada. And so spits out directions. I start following it. I get outside Pocatello and I had about half a tank of gas, so I was like, I got plenty of gas to get wherever I'm going. And so I start driving and Siri takes me on this wild goose chase through all the back roads of Utah and Idaho. And I'm just like, oh my God. And so I get going and my gas light comes on after a while, after about 180 miles. And so I asked Siri, I'm like, hey Siri, how far is the nearest gas station? And she says Pocatello, which is like I said, about 180 miles from here now. So it's like, oh, wonderful. So I keep driving. I'm like, well, I know there's nothing behind me for 180 miles, so I might as well just keep going. So I end up about 23 miles after my gas light turned on. I have about 25 miles per gallon, so I was right on the edge there, and I come up on this just sketchy little kind of ghost town, and I'll put a picture right there, and this place looked like it was like something right out of The Hills Have Eyes. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I ended up getting there. I pulled up to the gas pump and no one was there. Everything was pitch black and I was like, oh, crap. And so I look and it was like 8:30, 9:30 o'clock at night. And it says something 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll go get a hotel room. I go over to the hotel place, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Awesome. All right, so I guess I'm sleeping in my truck. So I ended up spending the night in my truck. Woke up the next morning and it was like 6:30. So I was like, all right, whatever. Ready to go as soon as I get here. 7 o'clock comes, no one shows up. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So then 8 o'clock comes and guy comes strolling up, and come to find out, I crossed over into the Pacific time zone about 2 miles before that, but since I didn't have cell service, my phone didn't update, and it was still telling me the old time of the mountain time, because Pacific's an hour behind mountain. So, alright, cool. So, gas is $4.95 a gallon. I'm like, oh my God. And it was like $2.80, $2.90 at that time. So I was like, just give me a couple gallons. I knew I was only about 25 miles from Route 80, so I knew there'd be gas stations on there. So I ended up getting up there and got gas. So that was the first excitement about the trip. So then I keep driving, end up, spend the night somewhere, I think in Elko, Nevada, stayed at some random casino. And then the next night I stayed just outside of Yosemite, up by one of the higher elevation military bases in California. And that place was, whatever, it was a campground. No. So then I finally get into Yosemite and I have no cell service whatsoever. And I'm just like, awesome. And in the process of, I thought I could like figure out like the extended range thing, which my phone at the time didn't have, but I figured it might. And somehow when I was messing around with it, I did a factory reset on my phone. And so I had no contacts. So just to head on to injury. So I end up getting into Yosemite and I found a park ranger and she was probably like 19, 20 years old. And I was like, oh, is there a payphone around here somewhere? And she was just like, what? What are you talking about? Just right over her head, deer in the headlights. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And I'm like, like a payphone. Really? You don't know what a payphone is? And so there was an older park ranger, probably like 40, 50, at Chiefs. Like, do you know we have payphone? And I'm just like, he's like, yeah, I think there's one like over by the building there. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go over there, find it. And my mom's had the same phone number since I was like 12 or 13. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll just call her and have her call my uncle that I was meeting there. And so I call her up and I'm just like, just let him know that I'm in the day parking lot at such and such part of Yosemite. And she's like, the bay parking lot? And I was like, no, the day parking lot, like day or night. And she's like, the hay parking lot? No, like day or night, day parking lot. Oh, okay, yeah, all right, I'll let him know. And so I was like, I'm pretty sure this is like majority of the payphones back in the day where you can call it back and, answer it and whatever. So I was like, I'll just wait here and, let me know what's going on. And so I sat there, 5-10 minutes later, phone rings, everyone's like looking like, what the, like, it was like blast from the past or something, like someone's using a payphone. And so I end up answering and she's like, I told him you were in the bay parking lot, but he didn't know where that was. I was like, oh Lord, the day parking lot, day or night, day. And she's just like, oh, okay, well, I'll try calling him back and all that. So we're talking for like a couple minutes. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fun time trying to find him. And he ends up walking around the corner. I'm just like, what was the likelihood of that happening? So we ended up just meeting up and it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And then the rest of the trip in Yosemite was awesome. We ended up hiking Half Dome, which is awesome. I'll show a picture here of the cables. They have, it's just like two cables, probably about, shoulder width apart. And then you got 2x4s that just go up this like rock face. And it's pretty cool. And I would definitely recommend anyone that goes to Yosemite. It's like I think it was like 18 miles round trip for the hike. So not too bad, 9 miles each way. And most of it was, there was parts where it was steep, but nothing too crazy. So it's not, there was kids that were doing it, so it's nothing too crazy. But yeah, and then there should be a little 360 video. I'll show at the top of Half Dome. It's pretty big up there. It's probably like football field or two, like size up there. So it's not like, most of your hikes where you get up to the top and it's just, a little bit of area for everyone to crowd up on. Like, Gatada was pretty small up there. But, yeah. So anyway, if you guys like these kind of videos, just leave it down below. Leave some comments or hit that big old thumbs up button. And then I'll check back with you guys tomorrow for the last video of 2015. It's going to be a Thirsty Thursday. And I hope you guys all get your nice drink on for Thirsty Thursday since tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So I'll check back with you guys then. All right, see ya.